All right, folks, here we are with another day. Day number 11 on the road to 2000 ELO Rapid Series. I finally said that right. It's been a really good 10 days. It's been a really good 10 days. We are at 1656 ELO, which is 56 higher than what we started with. And we're on track and more than on track to finish at 1700 by the end of the month, which is my goal. At the end of October to have a rating above 1700. Let's see if we can keep that going. Obviously, the higher we go rating wise, the more difficult it will be to keep winning and even to keep drawing, because the harder our competition is going to be. So let's see just how far we can take this win streak. I'm going to try to hopefully win today. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say besides subscribe if you haven't already. What are you doing? You're watching all these videos. Hit that button. It helps me out. And with that being said, let's get started. Alright, we're playing a 1608, so we're actually playing down, which is, I think, different for a change. So e4, e5, we're going to play knight f3. I just realized my volume is on low, which I don't want. I want my volume up. I like hearing the sound of the moves. So, yeah, we're going to play the 4-knight scotch once again. And I feel really comfortable with this opening. Eventually, I'll start to get, not necessarily punished, but I'll start to enter drawing positions. And this is already a drawing position. I think white's slightly better in this position. And eventually, I won't be able to win games, and I'll end up drawing games in this opening. If that does ever happen, I will probably switch up my repertoire. But here, I'm pretty sure white's just significantly better. I think I long castle, if I'm remembering correctly. We analyzed this earlier in the series, so I long castle, which I think is good. Don't push e5 right away. E5 still doesn't work just yet. I think maybe something like h3 is not a bad move, preventing bishop from going here and displacing my rooks. I do want to eventually line up my rooks on the d file, most likely. And I also want to play f5, and playing f5 now would let this happen unchecked. The other option is bringing out my bishop, and I think developing my bishop, now that I think about it, is actually probably the best possible option. So let's go bishop c4. This looks like a good square for the bishop. Yep, this looks like a good square for the bishop, eyeing the king. And if, this is played, I just win a pawn, I think. So maybe my opponent missed something. Okay, but they played this so confidently. What? Didn't even think about it. Just dropping a pawn? I guess so. I don't see anything else. I think they're just dropping a pawn. We'll take it. I'm not complaining. You won't catch me complaining about this one. And, the knight's defending the pawn on e4. Okay. Did I miss something? I don't think I did. We can obviously play f3 now just to solidify this pawn and free up our pieces. And I think we're just better. I mean, I'm going to start by going rook d1, trying to trade off the rooks. Now if bishop here, obviously pawn f3 is the move. Yeah, I mean, no complaints from me. And if they go here, they get a bishop trapped? No. Okay, so here. I think we can work with this, though. I think this is something we can work with. Let's start maybe by bringing out our knight, trying to get them to trade the knights. If they do, I can go rook here. This also has the threat of damaging their pawn structure, and the knight has pretty much no squares besides here. Okay, well, we'll take with check. And pawn structure successfully damaged. We'll go bishop here attacking the rook. And now we have another pawn that we win. My opponent's playing way too quickly. I think this is a very common thing, like I was saying earlier in the series at this ELO, where people play moves so fast, and it's strange. It's very bizarre. Now we can play g4, and I say this while also wanting to play a move very fast. g4, bishop here, and then I think f4 and f5 is crushing. So let's do that. Let's go g4. he only has one possible move. So this is a forcing line, which I can play it pretty quickly. Because after g6, bishop g6, now I can go f4. He's probably going to have to open up a square for the bishop, and that just makes his king weaker. So let's do this. Obviously, this pawn is protected by my bishop. Oh, I didn't see that as a move. Okay, I might have missed a little something. But here, for example, I can just go... I can even just go here. Wow, look at this. I could even just go here. Play e5. e5 looks like a good move. e5 protects the rook. The one thing is like, oh, does it get trapped? But there's no way to take this rook with any piece besides another rook. So I'm not too worried. Also, this bishop is protected. I gotta watch out now. There is ideas to attack my king. But, I mean, with these pawns, there's no way for the rooks to come in and join the attack. So it's not very, very dangerous as it currently stands. And now I'm threatening f5 as the next move. So let's see if my opponent spots that. This is going very well. Okay. So here, I can take... Maybe we play f5 first. Bishop back. Takes. And now we have rook here as a threat. So, okay, what's the option? Okay, rook g1 is obviously a move we're going to want to play in a position like this. Do I take first is the question. Do I take or do I go f5? If I go f5, this is forced. Then I can take. Okay, well here bishop takes, I lose a pawn. I mean, it's a pawn trade. This way, I'm pretty sure that if I play just f5, I straight up just win a pawn, which is nice. So let's do that. So we're playing f5 because now the only move for the bishop is back, and now we have g takes h5. If I had played instead this first, then bishop could take the pawn back. So now we can take the pawn. And we are going to have rook g1 as a threat. Which is not winning just yet, but it's a good move. Rook g1. I even have this as an option. Let's see. h6 is also an option. I think I'll play h6. Just because it just pushes further down and like shuts down the king. Like the king is going to have no room and it's going to be stuck on these two squares. So let's play h6. And now I can even play something like e6, actually. Because now this pawn's under threat. I don't want to play rook e1. It feels a little too slow. This looks like a crushing position, and it's time to prove it. We're going to play e6 now, where nothing is hanging. The king has no way of joining the fray. If king here, we simply go rook g1. Rook g1, sorry. Obviously, if pawn takes, they lose a rook. This looks deadly. This looks so good for me. I'm not surprised if this is going to be another super high accuracy game. Let's see what my opponent does. I don't think there's much left to play for. I wouldn't be surprised if they resign. They don't resign. Fair enough. You do you. Let's go rook takes. Rook takes. Rook takes. Pawn takes. We could also just go pawn takes, but it looks less good. Go rook takes. We're going to drop this pawn, but I don't really care. Pawn takes. We're dropping this pawn. Okay. Don't mind. And now we're simply going to go rook e1. And go rook e8. And that should pretty much be game. I'm up several pawns. Sure, the king can snatch one of them. But, okay, delaying it a tiny bit. Let's now go rook g1 instead, which I might have probably should have done in the first place. Rook g1, and then, yeah, this is done. This is over. Just simply over. Um, the king has nowhere to go either now. Should I got? Yeah, I should have gone rook g1 right away. Yeah, well, I ended up finding the right move. So yeah, rook g1 to rook g8 now. If rook takes, bishop takes. There we go. That is, what, 8 wins in a row now? We might actually get to 10 wins in a row. That is crazy. 1663 and counting. 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 misses. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a very, very high accuracy game. We'll take a look now. Okay, analysis time. And it looks like chess.com says that this game was played with about 90.5% accuracy. So that is pretty good. That is pretty solid. Let's see exactly how this happened. So we started off with e4, e5, a knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. By now you all know this already if you've been watching the videos. And if you haven't, go back, watch them. There are a lot of wins, a lot of entertaining stuff, a lot of educational stuff. But anyways, the 4-knight scotch, so characterized by the 4 knights out, the pawns on e4, d5, and then the pawn to d4, encouraging the trade, which is the best move. After knight takes back, typically you want to go bishop b4 and not bishop c5. The reasoning being that I can meet bishop c5 with bishop e3, and now my opponent takes, and this leads to a very, very good position for white. I thought it was around +1. It's actually plus 1.6. Which is definitely clearly winning, or clearly better, I should say. Not necessarily clearly winning, clearly better. White is better, there's no denying it. Here, in order to keep some level of tension, my opponent should play queen e7 and add pressure to this pawn in the middle, in which case I have to play bishop e2. Bishop e2. Wow. Okay, this I actually don't know too well. So what happens, let's say, if knight takes? Oh, okay, I see. So essentially, in order to take this pawn, you'd have to go bishop takes, and then after queen takes, you're defending the pawn. So you cannot win this pawn right away. Even though it looks like you have 2 attackers, you cannot simply go knight takes. If you do go knight takes, I go here, queen here, bishop here, and I'm simply up a piece. Obviously, there's stuff like this, but white is just simply better. Actually, even here, if you want to keep your pawn on h2, there's bishop f3 as well. All right, that was a little side note, but after this, we got the queen up on d4, and white is simply better. And I studied this quite a bit, so e5 is also good right away, but I long castled, and you can still play e5 here, but e5 here, let's say pawn takes. Okay, pawn can't take, obviously, my bad, but let's say like bishop out. Or here. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I could have just played e5. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought I could play e5. I went bishop c4. My opponent just gave up a pawn, cleanly. Yeah, there's not really much to analyze here. My opponent just played some pretty bad moves. Engine wants me to go h5. h5 is a nice looking move. So here... Oh, wait, no. Engine doesn't... h5 for my opponent, sorry. Where did I read h5? What? I can't even play h5. I'm thinking with white. Sometimes I'm just silly. h5 is interesting, though. h5 is interesting because it carries a threat of g4. So let's say bishop here. Let's say, like, I don't know, rook somewhere. Activate the rook. Isn't g4 a pretty substantial threat? Yeah, so that wins a piece. Okay, gotcha. The reason being that obviously if bishop g6, then you have h5, and now the bishop's just completely trapped. So, interesting move. I don't know where I saw it. Maybe it was like one of the early lines in the depth that Stockfish had. But here I decided to try to trade the knights, which my opponent didn't go for, but I can just force it because it comes with a check. Bishop d5. Winning initiative on the rook, and now taking the pawn on f6, which apparently not even the best move, which is funny. Now h4 is the best move. But I digress. Here I played g4 first, and then I played f4. I didn't want to play h4 for some reason. Why did I not want to play h4? I don't know. They're both the same. They're both the same. I'm not too sure why I didn't play h4. And here I found e5, which is the best move. I could also just move the rook. I mean, I'm completely winning. I'm up 2 pawns cleanly. There's no real threats for black in the position. And now I went to f5. Apparently g takes is better, even though bishop takes back. Why is this? Rook g1 check? Oh, okay. This wins a bishop. This wins a bishop because after bishop e4, if you just move your king away, then you have this, which is mate. So you have to block. And now you don't win a bishop, but you do win a pawn. Oh, a rook actually. Yeah, so that would be crushing. I didn't calculate that. I just thought, hey, this is how I win a pawn, and that seems pretty good to me. And now h6, e6, instrumental move, best move in the position because nothing my opponent can really do, as you guys saw. And here, I should have just gone rook g1 right away. Rook g1 is completely crushing. Instead, I let my opponent make one more move before I went rook g1, and then threatened to trade the rooks. There's no way to get out of this trade without sacking a rook. So you're going to want to trade, but then you lose the game to checkmate. So the best move is actually, according to the engine, sacking the rook, and then you're losing, but it takes a little longer. Solid game by me. The analysis was kind of quick. Sorry about that, but you guys have seen a lot of 4-night scotch. Maybe we'll switch it up with white, but it's a winning recipe. And who knows, maybe I'll get punished with it too. The further up we go the ladder, probably the better the opponents will be at handling this opening. So with that being said, you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any advice. As always, I've gotten a lot of good advice. I've implemented some of it, playing the open Sicilian instead of just the Smith Mora. Maybe I should, add some variety to my repertoire with white. After e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, maybe I should try the Italian or the Ruy Lopez. That's also a possibility. I know the theory fairly well for those openings because you face it a lot when you play as black, and I personally play e5 and then knight c6. So I'm used to those openings, but it'd be interesting playing them with white. Let me know. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you so much for your support. It's legitimately been really, really cool to start this journey and to have so many people along with me. If you guys want to hang out with me more, I'm also on Twitch. You can find my Twitch link in the description below. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. We're at 1663 ELO. 1663 is crazy. That is incredible. Legitimately incredible. So let's keep this going. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Au revoir.